Welcome to FAR and DFAR's Procurement Power. I'm Paul Natopsky, and today we're looking at a resource that is not flashy, but it is genuinely useful, the Acquisition Knowledge Matrix. If you work in acquisition, contracts, compliance, or proposal support, this is the kind of tool that can save time immediately.
And those are my favorite tools, Paul. Not the shiny demo thing, not the giant platform rollout, just the practical, oh wow, this saved me an hour before lunch kind of resource.
Exactly. Based on the source material, the Acquisition Knowledge Matrix is a structured, user friendly database designed to host and organize acquisition related content, referred to as artifacts, primarily in the form of documents and hyperlinks.
So, in plain English, it's a central place to find acquisition knowledge without digging through 10 different folders, old emails, bookmarks, and whatever somebody named final version actually meant 3 years ago.
That's right. And the word structured matters here. This is not just a random document dump, it's organized to help users locate content efficiently. The page also shows filtering and paging features, which suggests the resource is meant for repeated use, not one time browsing.
Yeah, and the sample entries tell the story. You're seeing things like a performance assessment user guide, an OMB category management memo, an OFPP PBA memo, a training PWS, a case study on successful performance-based acquisition, a market intelligence guide, a line item guide, even items related to service contract issues and industry standards references.
And that variety is what gives it operational value. You have guides, memos, training material, case studies, and links gathered in one place. For a contractor, that means you are not starting from zero every time a question comes up. You are starting from a body of organized references.
Which, honestly, changes the feel of the work. Instead of saying, I think I saw something on this once, you can go look for an artifact that may already frame the issue for you.
Correct. And the source indicates there are thousands of results. The sample page shows results 1 through 10 of 4,506. So this appears to be broad in scope. I want to be careful not to overstate beyond the source, but at minimum, it is clearly a substantial repository.
Big enough that filters stop being a convenience and start being survival. Because once a knowledge base gets into the thousands, the difference between searchable and not searchable is basically the difference between useful and ignored.
That is a fair assessment. In day to day work, speed matters. If your team needs a starting point for acquisition planning, performance assessment, market research, or document structure, a centralized matrix reduces friction. It helps people find relevant material faster and move into analysis instead of spending their time hunting.
And I think that's the key takeaway from Chapter 1. This is not magic, and that's why it matters. It's a structured hub for acquisition artifacts and links. It centralizes practical resources. And if you're a contractor trying to get smarter, faster, and more consistent, it gives you a place to begin that isn't a blank page.
Well said. A good matrix does not replace judgment. It strengthens judgment by making useful references easier to access.
Okay, so let's get practical. Why should a defense contractor actually care about this thing on a busy Tuesday when proposals are due, compliance questions are piling up, and somebody just asked for backup on a market research point?
Because it can support several high value workflows. First, proposal writing. If your team is developing a response and needs examples of acquisition related guidance, performance concepts, line item references, or market intelligence material, a centralized repository can help identify relevant source material quickly.
Not to copy, obviously, but to orient. To understand the language, the expectations, the framing, the kinds of artifacts that shape good acquisition thinking.
Exactly. It is about improving the quality of your preparation. Second, compliance research. Contractors routinely need to understand policy context, supporting guidance, or related reference material. The matrix appears to gather that kind of content in one place, which means less fragmented searching and a better chance of finding something useful early.
And that early find matters. A lot of wasted effort happens before the real work even starts. Somebody spends an hour asking around, another person searches the wrong site, a third person has a PDF but it's outdated or maybe not. And now half the meeting is about finding the thing instead of deciding what to do with it.
That is a common failure mode. The matrix can also support market intelligence work. One of the listed artifacts is a market intelligence guide. Again, staying within the source, that indicates users may find references that help them think through market facing acquisition questions more efficiently.
Then you've got performance-based acquisition. The sample entries include an OFPP PBA memo, a training PWS, and a case study from Maxwell Air Force Base on successful performance-based acquisition. That's not trivial. For teams trying to sharpen a requirement, understand outcomes, or just get smarter on PBA, those references could be a very good starting set.
Agreed. And category management appears as well through the OMB memo listed in the sample. There are also references tied to workforce or service contract issues, including the Labor Department item on non displacement under service contracts. So if your team works across acquisition strategy, labor related considerations, or service contracting questions, this repository may help surface relevant materials faster.
I like that you said may because that's the right tone here. We're not promising it answers every question. We're saying it gives contractors a faster path to useful references, and that alone can improve decision making.
Yes, better informed decisions, stronger submissions, and less wasted effort. Those are realistic benefits from a structured knowledge base. In my experience, teams perform better when they can access credible reference material without delay.
And that's the excitement here, honestly. It's not excitement like fireworks. It's excitement like, we found a better way to work. The kind that helps a capture team, a contracts lead, or a compliance analyst move faster with a little more confidence.
Precisely. Use the matrix as a starting point, a research accelerator, and a way to reduce unnecessary reinvention. That is real procurement power.
And that's a great place to leave it. Paul, always good breaking this stuff down with you.
Likewise, Eric, we'll keep bringing practical acquisition resources to the table. Thanks for listening.
See you next time on Far and DFAR's Procurement Power. Take care, Paul.
Goodbye, Eric.